What is going on, everybody? This is Hufty, back with a different video this episode. We're going to be doing a mock draft for the NFL. We haven't done this on the channel yet, and I think it'd be good to switch it up. So we're going to be going through and selecting for all 32 teams, and we're going to be going through and doing 2 rounds. So this is just this could change, because we haven't went through free agency. We don't even know what these picks are going to be down here, these 27 to 32 or 22 to 32. We don't know what teams will have those picks, or any team that's in the playoffs. We don't know where they're going to finish and what pick they're going to end up with. But we're just going to go through, do our mock draft number 1. This is going to be mock draft 1.0. We're going to do another one probably each month. I'd say I'll try to get one each month before the draft in April. Just see how we pan out. To start, we're going to go ahead and, if I'm the Bears franchise, Fields, you can accept his option, or you can start new with either Caleb Williams or Drake May. What I would do if I was the Bears, I would be in free agency. I'd pick up a tackle. I'd pick up probably some interior O-linemen. And I'm going to give Fields one more year. I'm going to say they could trade down. It'd be smart to trade to 2 or 3, because I think both of those would take a QB. I think the Patriots are going to take a QB, and I think the Commanders are going to take a QB. So I think they trade down. They could trade down, but I'm not going to do any trades for this. So I'm just going to have the Bears taking Marvin Harrison first overall. It might be an abstract pick. It might be different, but that's what I'm going to go with for this mock draft, at least mock draft 1.0. At the 2, I think the Commanders are going to go with Caleb Williams. I feel like Caleb Williams fits better with a team that has a worse O-line, and I think the Patriots have a pretty good O-line. So I think, because Caleb Williams is more of a playmaker, so I think he fits better with the Commanders rather than the Patriots. So I think that he's going to end up with the Commanders, and then I think the Patriots are going to take Drake May, the QB of the future. That's what we did in our franchise, and I think that's what's going to happen. At the 4, I feel like this is a pretty easy pick. I feel like they're going to go top 2. They're going to go one of these 2. And I feel like since they lost Marquise Brown, they haven't really had a playmaker, and I feel like Malik Nabers could be that guy. They definitely don't need a QB. They don't need a tight end. So I'm going to have them taking Malik Nabers at the 4th overall draft pick of this year. The Chargers, they have a pretty good O-line. They have probably one of the better sided O-lines in the league. They're struggling at their skill positions. I mean, Eckler hasn't been getting it done. Keenan Allen is on and off. And their tight end, honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know who their tight end is. They struggle at D-line, they struggle at linebacker, they struggle at corner. So I'm going to have them taking best on the board. They're going to go ahead and select Brock Bowers, 5th overall. Hopefully he can be a huge playmaker for them. That's who I would take if I was the Chargers GM. Then we have the Giants. I think the Giants are an incredible... How do I word this? They have an incredible ceiling, and they have a very low floor. I feel like if the Giants take the right picks here, they could have an incredible draft. I feel like the Giants are capable of... They have picks 6, 39, and 47. Could all be amazing picks if they pick the right people. At the 6th overall pick, the Giants take their QB of the future, Heisman winner, Jayden Daniels. Then, the Titans, who lack at almost every position. I feel like their receivers aren't bad. They have D-Hop, Treylon Burks, Kyle Phillips, and I feel like at O-line they aren't good. And I feel like Joe Alt is just a perfect fit for this offense. I feel like they're either going to go Joe Alt or Olu Fashanu. But I'm going to have them taking Joe Alt in this 1.0 mock draft. That's who I would take if I was them. I feel like that's pretty much that's who they need. These next two picks are pretty interesting. I feel like the Falcons, who knows who their head coach is going to be? Could it be Bill Belichick? Who knows? Could it be Mike Vrabel? Could it be a college coach who comes up? I don't feel like they need... I feel like they need a quarterback. Like, they played Heineke some snaps this year. They played Desmond Ridder some snaps this year. I don't know if anybody else got in there. But I think it was pretty much Heineke and Desmond Ridder. And I feel like neither of them were good. And I feel like there is a player who had an incredible college season who, if you plug into this offense, I think he could be incredible. They have Bijan Robinson, Drake London. If their new head coach or new offensive coordinator can use Kyle Pitts to his full ability, I think they could actually be a playoff team. I feel like the Falcons are so well-rounded, they could actually be a playoff team next year. And I'm going to have them taking their QB of the future, Michael Penix. Is it a reach? Maybe. Could they trade back? Definitely. They could definitely trade back to 15. I could see the Colts trading up and taking Romeo Oduns. But I'm going to have the Falcons taking Michael Penix at the 8th overall pick. That's probably my most abstract pick in this mock draft. The Bears at pick 9, they have two first rounders. This is their pick. That first overall pick is from the Panthers. Incredible trade. They absolutely fleeced the Panthers. They already took their guy. They already took Marvin Harrison. So I don't think they take Rome Oduns. Could they go tackle? Maybe. They definitely could. But I'm going to have... They've struggled at their D-line for so many years. And I think Jerson Newton out of Illinois could definitely help them. He's an interior D-lineman. Primarily plays D-tackle, and I just feel like they've been struggling there for the longest time. And I feel like he'd fit in perfectly with their defense. So they're going to take Jerson Newton at the 9th overall pick. I feel like the Bears went 7-10, 8-9, around there. I feel like, Fields probably has one more year. This is probably his deciding year. And if he takes advantage of it, the Bears could have a good squad. Cole Kmet had almost a superstar season. But let's get back to this. The Jets, I could see them taking Rome Oduns also. I could see them taking Olu Fashanu. Mekhi Becton hasn't really been that guy. And then they need another tackle. And I think Olu Fashanu has better value than Rome Oduns, and that's why I'm going to have him going at the 10th overall pick. The Vikings is a very interesting pick. Such an interesting pick. They need almost everything. I feel like the Vikings could trade back, get Penix or Bo Nix. Could they trade up? Who knows? But I'm not doing trades in this draft. I might do them in 2.0 or 3.0. They need interior O-linemen, they need D-linemen, they need linebackers. They need an entire squad. And I'm going to have them starting off their future of their defense with Dallas Turner, the edge out of Alabama. Hopefully he can get some sacks off the edge. Hopefully that turns around their defense. To the Broncos, who have struggled at the wide receiver spot. Courtland Sutton had a good year. Judy is just, especially after what happened with Steve Smith. I almost couldn't name a person on their roster below Courtland Sutton. That's a playmaker. And that's why I'm going to give Russell Wilson another player to make some plays with. And Rome Oduns is going to head to Denver in our 1.0 mock draft. The Raiders, I could see them trading back and taking Bo Nix, but I'm going to have them taking Bo Nix anyway. I feel like Bo Nix is honestly an amazing pick here. And I think Bo Nix definitely fits in with the Raiders. If you look at his stats, I mean, threw for 4,400 yards this year, 135 passer rating, 45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He played incredible in the Pac-12. Yeah, I think Bo Nix fits in with this offense. I feel like this says the Saints need a QB, but that's such a lie. Derek Carr didn't have as bad of a season as people think. Like, Derek Carr didn't have that horrible of a season. And the Saints, they have Ryan Ramczyk at right tackle. Who do they have at left tackle? Nobody. That's why they're going to take Talisi Fuaga out of Oregon State to fill that left tackle position. Then we get the Colts on the board. The Colts have a lot of questions around their defense. They have good old linemen. They have pretty good receivers. I mean, Josh Downs, Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, 3 decent. They maybe need a tight end, but there really isn't anybody beyond Brock Bowers in this class around this pick. So I'm going to have, they could go Cooper DeJean, Terrion Arnold, or Nate Wiggins, but I think Nate Wiggins is the best out of all of them, and that's why I'm going to have the Colts taking Nate Wiggins at the 15th overall pick. The Seahawks, they struggle at the interior alignment position, but there's none on the board. This would be a reach. The closest player they could take interior alignment is far beyond this pick, and they need an edge. They've needed an edge rusher for so long. Their pass rush has never been it, and I think Gerard Verse fits in perfectly with the Seattle defense, and I feel like he could be a difference coming off the edge. The Jaguars. I don't think I could tell you a name of a cornerback on the Jaguars this season, and I think that enough is going to lead me to pick Cooper DeJean. Playmaker, returns punts, returns kicks. He's absolutely gross, and I think he fits in perfectly with that Jaguars defense. Then the Bengals are on the clock. They're a winning team, and what do winning teams need? They need depth. They need O-linemen. J.C. Latham is a good value pick right here. So is Laiatu Latu, but they don't really need edge. Like, they don't need an edge. I could see them going Amarius Mims, but I think J.C. Latham is a better value pick for them. So I'm going to have Latham going to Cincinnati. And then the Green Bay Packers. Again, they're the 7th seed right now. They're an incredible team. There is so much in store for this team, and I feel like they have so much potential, and I feel like picking back-to-back with the Bengals, I think they're going to take whoever's left over from the tackles. So if the Bengals go Amarius Mims, they'll take Latham. But in this case, I had Latham going to the Bengals, so I'm going to have Amarius Mims going to help out the Packers. So he'll sit alongside David Bakhtiari at the tackle position. Then we have the Buccaneers, who sit at 4 seed. They play the Eagles in round 1. That'll be a good game. Eagles are busted up. They have no A.J. Brown. Looking forward to that game this weekend. They need pretty much just about every position. I feel like their running back is pretty good. Rachaad White had a good fantasy-sided season. Cade Otton isn't horrible at tight end. Like, he's not bad, but there's somebody on the board that's standing out. They don't really have any edge rushers who are like insane like they did that year that they had Tom Brady. So I'm gonna have them taking Laiatu Latu out of UCLA, and he's gonna end up in Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers. Now the Cardinals with their 2nd pick in this first round, which they got from Houston. So that's good for them. They're getting more value. We had them taking Malik Neighbors, so we're not going to have them taking another receiver. They could take Brian Thomas. I mean, if they wanted another receiver, but I'm going to have them taking Khalid McKinstry out of Bama. And then next pick, we have the Rams, who I think these Bama corners are going to go side by side with each other. I'm going to have Terrion Arnold going to the Rams, and these Bama corners are going to get picked back to back. The Steelers are the 7th seed in the AFC. They're playing the Bills. Yeah, they're playing the Bills. The game just got postponed. I feel like the Steelers, they need a center. They need DBs. Again, they're probably a team. I couldn't name too many corners besides Joey Porter. Yeah, they need like interior O-linemen and linebackers and DBs. So I'm going to have them taking Ennis Rakestraw Jr. out of Mizzou. The Dolphins just lost. They just lost against the Chiefs. And I watched the game where they struggled, O-line. And I'm going to have them taking Jordan Morgan out of Arizona to help out their O-line. The Eagles. They are a good team. There's a lot in store for them, but they're banged up. They don't have a lot of money. And I feel like if they're just gonna go out, they're gonna take a playmaker. They're gonna try to just go out on this offense next season. Brian Thomas goes to Philadelphia. The Chiefs. This is where I think 3 straight receivers could go. I think the Chiefs could take a receiver. They need a receiver. Kadarius Toney, too many drops. Rashee Rice had an incredible season. There's still some in store for them. But I'm going to have them taking Troy Franklin out of Oregon. He's a incredible receiver. And I think he fits in perfectly with that Chiefs offense. And then the third receiver straight, Ladd McConkey out of Georgia, goes to the Houston Texans. They fill out Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Ladd McConkey. Incredible receiving core. Sets up CJ Stroud. I think that's an incredible pick for them. I don't think they have to do anything. The Lions, interior O-linemen, interior D-linemen, and cornerbacks. Best corner on the board, I feel like there's not really anything that... I could see them taking Leonard Taylor. Maybe. I could see them taking Leonard Taylor. This could honestly be a coin flip. Kamar Sitter, Leonard Taylor. Let's go Leonard Taylor here. And I think who they don't pick, the Bills will pick out of those 2 players because they have similar needs. Both of those players are very talented. Then we have the 2 seed in the NFC, the Dallas Cowboys. O-line. That's what I saw a lot this year. I feel like they really, really struggled on the O-line. Troy Fautanu, Washington, heading to Dallas. Now our 1 seed from the NFC, the San Francisco 49ers. It's almost unfair how they get a draft pick. We're going to have them taking best tackle on the board, Graham Barton. Their O-line has kind of been the death of them, especially their interior O-line hasn't been great. So yeah. Ravens have a good pick. I feel like Odell, he's a free agent this year. What do they do with him? They have Zay Flowers now. So what could they do at receiver? They could draft Devontae Walker out of UNC and pair him up with Zay Flowers, give Lamar Jackson another weapon, and start off the year strong next year. So the Panthers get their first pick in this draft, and I think the Panthers picked Braylon Trice to go. So Brian Burns is on the last year of his contract, so if they re-sign him, maybe they don't take Braylon Trice. But I'm going to say they take best available regardless. I feel like they need best available. Now the Patriots are up. The Patriots might take... So we had them round 1 taking their QB. I had them taking Caleb Williams. Or no. They took Drake May. And I think they go for an edge. They go Chop Robinson out of Penn State. He's an incredible prospect. The Cardinals on the board, they took Malik Neighbors, 4th overall. So they could go for O-line, D-line, linebackers. I couldn't name an edge for them, so I'm going to give them Chris Braswell out of Bama. He had a pretty good season for Bama. Bama has so many players getting drafted. So does Ohio State. The Commanders get their second pick after taking Caleb Williams. Do they give him a weapon? I don't know. I feel like there's too much defense on the board. They have good receivers. I mean, Jahan Dotson, Diami Brown, Terry McLaurin. Those are just 3. They do need a tight end. I hope they get a tight end in free agency. I feel like they really, really need that. They also have pick 40, so I think I feel like they're pretty set. So they could go corner, linebacker, edge. I feel like best available, JT Tuimoloau, especially after getting rid of Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Let's give them an edge. An edge of the future. Hopefully he pans out. I hope the Commanders are decent next year. I hate to see them lose. The Chargers, again, needing every position. We had the Chargers, they picked 5. They picked Brock Bowers. They have Mike Williams, who's coming off a torn ACL. Keenan Allen. I don't know who their free agents are. I could definitely see them going Emeka Egbuka. I could see them going Quinion Mitchell. I could see them going Keon Coleman. There's definitely a lot of people that they could take. So I'm gonna have them getting their star player Emeka Egbuka out of Ohio State, who had that one crazy 300-yard game. I think in the Rose Bowl maybe 2 years ago. I don't know. The Titans, they picked 7th overall and took Joe Alt. And I like the Titans to go after a receiver to fill out that. Actually, they got rid of Kenyon Byard this year. They got rid of the Byard to the Eagles. I'm gonna replace Byard with Cameron Kitchens out of Miami. The Giants, this is a team that I really like. I don't think they go safety. I don't think they go edge. I feel like they have Kayvon Thibodeau. They have Azeez Ojulari. I think they go playmaker. They haven't really had a playmaker. They tried with Kenny Golladay. I think they go Keon Coleman here. Keon Coleman, great jump ball receiver. Hopefully Jordan Travis. Jaden Daniels is better throwing to him than Jordan Travis was. Washington with their 3rd pick and their last pick of my 2.0 mock draft. So with their first pick, they took Caleb. Then with their second pick, they took an edge. So let's see here who's on the board. Could they go Kyron? Maybe. They do need a corner. Let's give the Commanders Quinion Mitchell out of Toledo. Rounds out their DBs. They have Kendall Fuller, St. Justice, and that's about it. The Packers, we had them taking a tackle. And I feel like there's a player on the board here. I didn't even press that. There's a player on the board here to who they should take, and it's Tyler Nubin. He just fits. The Vikings, them first round, we had them taking Dallas Turner, the edge. They could go interior O-line. They could go another edge. But I think TJ Tampa could be a good pick here. Do they bring back Kirk? I know Kirk is a free agent. Could they take Kalen King maybe? Kalen King's a good prospect. Or do they take this man right here? JJ McCarthy. Had a great season. threw for 3,000 yards, 22 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Doesn't turn the ball over too much. I think they take J.J. McCarthy at the 42. I feel like he fits in. Then we go to the Falcons, who just took Michael Penix. Who are their receivers? Drake London, then who? Adonai Mitchell. Drake London, Adonai Mitchell. They're starting that offense. The Raiders just took Bo Nix. They need about every position, like ever. They need DBs. They need corners. They need interior D linemen. They need a lot. But I think Patrick Paul out of Houston could round out that O-line and could definitely help out Bo Nix, who they take. I don't think the Saints go quarterback in this. I feel like that would almost be a waste of a pick. I feel like Derek Carr has a lot more left in the tank. We saw him at Las Vegas last year. They didn't make the playoffs, but... Oh, no, they did. They squeezed in as a 7th seed. So they made the playoffs with Derek Carr. I feel like they're not, horrible. And I feel like they need an edge aside Cameron Jordan. Jonah Ellis fits right in with that team. Then the Colts, who we had taking Nate Wiggins. We had them taking a DB. So I wouldn't say they'd take TJ Tampa. But I'm going to have them going and taking Chris Jenkins out of Michigan, who had a great game as an interior D lineman against Washington in the national championship. So I feel like that's a pretty good pick for them. The Giants, with their third and final pick, we had them taking Keon Coleman, and we had them taking Jaden Daniels. Now, do they go tackle? Tyler Guyton is a good pick. Xavier Worthy would be a good pick if they hadn't taken Keon Coleman. They could go linebacker. They could go DB. They could go TJ Tampa, who's a good value pick for them. But I feel like they need to round out that O-line. I'd go Tyler Guyton. Take Tyler Guyton. Replace Evan Neal. Get Evan Neal out of there. He blocks his own players. And round out that O-line. Then we have the Jaguars, who we had taking Cooper DeJean in the first round to get their DBs. Here, there's not too many people who really, really fit their needs. They don't need a receiver. Jackson Powers Johnson, is that a good pick for them? Honestly, yes. That is a really good pick. I feel like that's the best value they're getting here. And I think this is a no-brainer. The Bengals are taking Jadavion Sanders out of Texas, who was thrown the ball by Quinn Ewers this year. Had a pretty good season. So, the Eagles have a lot of picks, right? We had them taking Brian Thomas first round. They didn't have a second rounder, did they? No. So they already took their receiver. Let's go ahead and sort this thing by linebackers. Edgerrin Cooper, is that a good pick? I don't know. Let's get some corners. TJ Tampa, I feel like he fits. I'm not going to do too much in depth for the second round than the first. So the Packers took Tyler Nubin as their first pick in the second round, and then in the first round they took Amarius Mims. So they took a tackle and a safety. I'm gonna have them taking interior D line here. I'm gonna have them taking Brandon Dorlus over to Byron Murphy. I could see them taking either, to be honest. But Brandon Dorlus is gonna head to Green Bay. Then we have the Buccaneers, who took Laiu Latu in the first, and did they have a second? They didn't. So they took an edge in the first. They could take a tight end. if there was one, but AJ Barner is not going that early. They could definitely go. No, they're not going receiver. They could go corner. They could go linebacker. Let's see who's on the board for them at corner. Kalen King, good value pick. Has a better rank and ADP than their pick that they're picking at. So, good to get him off the board. Then we have the Texans, who... The Texans have taken Ladd McConkey. They've also had another pick. I swear they've had another pick. Guess not. Yeah, they took Ladd McConkey. So, at their next pick, they could probably go D-line. They could go linebacker. I could see the Texans taking... Yeah, let's have them take Edgerrin Cooper. Edgerrin James, imagine. I feel like the Rams are going to take a receiver. They just had Puka Nacua, crazy season, Cooper Kupp, but I feel like after that it falls off. We had them taking Terrion Arnold. We had them taking DB. I feel like their next best need is a receiver, and I feel like Xavier Legette is still on the board, which is crazy. I feel like he fits perfectly with them. Then we have the Steelers, who did they take in the first? They took Ennis Rakestraw. So they took a corner in the first. Who really would fit with them? I don't know if we have any interior O linemen that are still on the board that makes sense. That's 20 picks away. Kyron, let's have them take Kyron. Yeah, I feel like that's the only pick that makes sense really. And then this, that just screwed the that absolutely screwed the Dolphins. Let's have the Dolphins reach and take Kingsley Suaramatia. Or did they already take a tackle? No, they already took a tackle. The Dolphins aren't young at corner. I know that for a fact. They also aren't young at safety. Kalen Bullock, welcome to Miami. The Eagles, who took a receiver in the first, and then they ended up taking... They took a receiver and a DB, right? Yes, a receiver and a DB. So that's two of their needs, Matt. How about we meet a third and we take Jeremiah Trotter, a middle linebacker out of Clemson. We took him in our Patriots franchise, and he's panned out pretty well. The Chiefs, who took a receiver, are going to take Byron Murphy right here. I feel like best available right here. The Browns get their first pick. They're going to go Xavier Worthy out of Texas. There's a lot of skill players out of Texas being taken. Byron Murphy isn't... Well, he's not a skill player, but definitely had an impact. Quinn Ewers, their tight end, then Xavier Worthy. They're a worse... almost LSU, kind of. The Lions, who took a corner in the first round, I feel like are going to look to maybe get bigger as a team and beef up the O-line. Let's have them taking Makai Wingo at D-line. The Bills, who took a interior D-lineman first pick, let's have them taking Jermaine Burton. Who knows what happens with Diggs this season? Who knows if he even stays? They haven't really had a full receiver core ever, really. Let's give them Jermaine Burton. The Cowboys, who took a tackle in their first round pick. Did they take a tackle? I don't even know. There isn't Josh Newton. Let's give them Josh Newton. We'll just throw him on that team. Let's give the Niners Denzel Burke. And then last overall pick for the 1.0 mock draft. Off these 1.0 mock draft. The Ravens took a receiver. In their first round pick. I feel like they need if anything, I mean, they're an incredible team. They need a corner or a interior D lineman. I'm gonna give them T'Vondre Sweat out of Texas. So yeah, that is our mock draft. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll scroll through this really quick. Yeah, this is our mock draft. So make sure you guys tune in to, I believe, episode 5 or 6 is next for the Patriots franchise, and we might have a new franchise coming. So just be ready. So thank you guys for tuning in, and peace out.